My hair is rainbow colored because I had lost the will to live. And my friend told me, you need to dye your hair beautiful colors so that every time you look in the mirror, you'll remember that you're worth living for. And that worked actually, because I'm quite a cheerful person. And so every time I look in the mirror, I remember that I have beautiful children and an amazing husband, and I am worth living for. I grew up always being in pain. I remember when I was 11 years old asking my mom why I always hurt, and she said everybody always hurt. And I remember that not being right. I also remember just not fitting in, everybody doing fun things and hiking for long periods of time, and I couldn't do things other people could do. It was really hard. I went to doctor, and nobody could quite ever figure out what was going on. It wasn't until my 30s that I found out that I have 2 malformations in my hips, and I have connective tissue disorder. I have a high rheumatoid factor also. So what that means is that my joints pop out of socket, and I have a slipped disc because of that also. And I have rheumatoid arthritis. I've decided to bear as much pain as I can in order to spend time with my children and in order to be a good mom. In that, I have to be conscious and I have to be aware of my children. They take a lot of time and energy, and I'm only here with them for a certain amount of time. I do not want the addiction factor, and I do not want to put the wear and tear on my body, especially on my liver. It was in 2015 that I started having seizures. I went into my room, and there's 3 steps down to my room, and I looked down the steps and realized I could not physically walk down the steps. So I yelled to my husband, and he got out of bed and helped me down to the steps, which was a normal occurrence at that time. I had 6 months earlier fallen down the stairs. And so I had been slowly getting sicker. And he put me in my chair, which was the closest thing to set me into, and I shook for 2 hours. And I just did this for 2 hours. And after the first hour, he brought me to the emergency room. And by the second hour, they gave me benzodiazepines and said, that was a seizure, you need to see a neurologist. And within 2 weeks, I was having regular seizures every single day for hours. So some prescription drugs, they caused more seizures. They caused Alice in Wonderland syndrome. They caused me to drool. They caused deja vu and jéma vu, and they caused me to feel like I was getting high and stoned, and it was really horrible feeling, and it made me feel very sick. I had to be on more medications just to counteract those medications. It was really awful. My mother had to step in and take care of my children sometimes. My husband had to work on a Christmas Eve once, and so my mom had to come and take care of my children on Christmas Eve. And she had to cook the meal, and I had to be kept away from the kids on Christmas Eve, and my mom did Christmas Eve for my kids. When my husband would go out of town for work, my children would go and be with my mom for days, and then my friends would come and take care of me. I couldn't be the mother when I was on the prescription drugs. It was really hard. Whenever I used THC, my seizures stopped, but I couldn't bring it home. So I would go out of state when I was sick and use medical cannabis, but then I would come home and I would have seizures again. My doctor was actually the first one who brought up medical cannabis, and I've had 4 neurologists bring up that they were excited about medical cannabis being able to pass, that they would write letters for all of their patients. My doctor actually signed my a letter for me right away. After Prop 2, bringing my medicine home was the most exciting thing I've probably ever done in my whole entire life. Because before then, every single time that my husband would bring me out of state when I was sick, we would try and guess how much I would use before, and then we would throw it away at the hotel and know we were throwing away medicine. And then we would know I would be sick and I would start having seizures within hours of us crossing the border. It was really hard. It was really, really hard, knowing that we were throwing away my health every single time and we were going home to me being sick. Since Prop 2 passed, I've been 14 months seizure-free, and it's been amazing. I do so many things with my kids. I'm currently teaching them how to can. We're canning tomatoes right now. It's tomato season. And I am very, very active. I'm active at their school helping them. I'm active with them in all things. I'm very thankful that I have this law that is making it so that I have my medicine. There's more work to be done. Everybody needs to have access to their medicine. Recently up at the Capitol, it was alleged that those of us who use medical cannabis cannot be good parents. I happened to be there that day, and I declared that we can. I happen to declare that I'm a damn good mom, and I am.